atuuse era nengerawo abamubugiriza kuliko omumyuka w'omukulembeze w'eggwanga waliwo minisita avunaanyizibwa ku bya ICT nendabyekaawo n'omuwandiisi ow'enkalakkalira Dr. Zawedde n'abamu ku bakungu ba gavumenti abali wano ku kisaawe Kololo okulaba nga baliisa amaaso n'emitima gyabwe oba oliawo abamu bajja kuvaawo bamatidde nti ddala ekkubo Uganda lyekwata mu bya tekinologiya lirinako bwe lijja okututuusa. Omukulembeze w'eggwanga akyagenda mu maaso n'okulambula ku gimu ku midaala egy'abavubuka bambulakalevu abagezaako okwoleka obuyiiya bwe bali mu kukola oba oliawo mu ngeri emu oba endala okukwasizaako ku gavumenti mu nkola eri ey'okwongera okutuusa obuweereza eri bannansi mu ngeri ey'amangu ate takaluubiriza. Omukulembeze w'eggwanga mu nteekateeka eno era yadde nga aba minisitule ya science ne tekinologiya nabo balinako kye bakola ne minisitule eno eya ICT and national guidance agiwadde obudde saako n'ensimbi okulaba nti ddala evujjirirwa mu ngeri esaanidde olwo esobole okuwa omusingi omunywevu eri abayiiya wano mu Uganda. Essuubira nti nga tuyita mu nkola eno eya ICT okubanga ebintu tubitambuliza ku mitimbagano tusobola okwongezaayo oba oliawo obuweereza mu ngeri abatadde ensimbi mu mwoleso guno ogwa ICT job fair bannaffe aba Huawei oba Huawei ng'abamu bwe muyinza okubayita bamu ku abo abali mu kuvujjirira enteekateeka eno. President abuuza ku bannaffe abo aba Stanbic Bank bamu ku abo abali mu kwolesa wano olunaku olwaleero. Abo bali mu byansimbi naye nga bwe nkutegeezezza nti the main purpose of this exhibition is to showcase the potential of how government can toe the line of innovation, ICT and communication to ensure that at the end of the day we can make Ugandans be in position to earn from wherever they are through their innovations. Even when you look at the current change in the curriculum, it is that one which is trying to go very practical to ensure that we are not just fed by theory, but practical can also give us a daily income in as far as it is concerned. We are still touring around with the president, having a feel of some of the stores here at Kololo. There we make our way to the final lap of the day's events here. The president is going to tour around this CC. These are the guiders of the communication in Uganda, and we will also be giving you the details of what exactly the president is going to be told here at Kololo ceremonial grounds in this store of UCC. I can see there the Minister State for ICT, Mama Joy flanking her Senior Minister, Dr. Chris Bayomosi, and that is in the Ministry of ICT. The Ministry of ICT is at the core center of organizing this event. It has given in resources to ensure that we have so far what is still a successful event. This is installed by Huawei, one of the co-sponsors and organizers of this event. And the president is moving in here to also say a word of hello and get few insights of how far they are supporting the government's effort of running a digital and transform the economy. From here, we will be heading to the main events venue where we shall have a few speeches, and later on the president will address the nation through different media houses present here at Kololo and officially launch this second edition of the ICT job fair, where we have been promised that there will be a continuation of the same in the coming years. A section of ICT players will be coming here or anywhere else to at least try to raise strategies to ensure that they can be innovative and support that sector, where we are very much convinced that the ICT sector is now the backbone of the society we need, not only today, but even for tomorrow. The country and the world at large is transitioning from those past days and eras where things were done in a traditional way or in those third world way. Now that even Uganda, we all know we are moving in a bit very, very better economy. We have an assurance with such innovations and activities and support from government and the president himself. The future looks very bright, though we are not very sure when will that come, but laying a foundation is the best way to determine how our tomorrow as a country will be. The president is interacting with some of the managers here of Huawei, or Huawei as many want to refer to them, and from there we will head to the main events. The president is waving to the team of our sister media houses here at the Next Media, and that is being led by the CEO, Ken Karisa, who we understand have also added the block on this expo. And from here, we will head to the main venue. Banafe, abachatulaba ku Star TV ne UBC, tukyali wano Kololo, era omukulembeze w'eggwanga awabuuzaako kubamu ku boolesezza oboolyawo n'abataddemu ensimbi n'obuyambi obutali bumu okulaba nti omukolo guno gugenda mu maaso. Awo ali ku mudaala gwa bannaffe aba Next Media ng'ate bakulembeddwamu ssenkulu waabwe Ken Kalisa, bamunnyonnyola ku biki bye bakola wano. Kati olwo katwolekere ku kisaawe wennyini awagenda okubeera omukolo. Tutegeeza nti wano tujja kubeera ne programu eri mu bufunze. Omukulembeze w'eggwanga ajja kutuuka wano, olwo tuyimbe ennyimba z'eggwanga, olwo nange nja kusiibula nkuweeyo eri bannaffe bakongereyo n'enteekateeka eno nga bw'owulira MC agamba nti tujja kusooka n'okuyimba eggwanga omukolo gutandike. Ka nkuweeyo ogende mu maaso n'okulaba bitereevu ebigenda wano.
Your Excellency, you're welcome.
Kololo nzero batonya
Abazzukulu baabano bali wano era bazze okulira ekigambo kyo ku luno olunaku lwa National ICT Job Fair. We will remain standing, ladies and gentlemen, until we have the anthems and the word of prayer done. So please remain standing. We will have the Uganda National Anthem and the East African Anthem. And I will now request that we may have the anthems. Anthems, please. please remain standing as I invite Apostle Dr. Joseph Serwada and the IRCU team, the Interreligious Council of Uganda, to come and lead us in a word of prayer.
Your Excellency General Huawei Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Excellency the Vice President, Honorable Ministers here present, Members of Parliament, Members of the Diplomatic Corps, Members of the Interreligious Council of Uganda, all invited dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. I stand here, sir, to represent the chairman of the Council of Presidents of the Interreligious Council of Uganda, His Grace Archbishop Dr. Samuel Kazimba Mugalu, and he sends his love and greetings. I will make a statement on behalf of the Interreligious Council of Uganda in 1 minute, and then Sheikh Waiswa, the Deputy Mufti, will pray, and then we will sit. Participating in this year's ICT job fair presents us with the opportunity as a religious fraternity to reflect and to reaffirm our role in unlocking the potential of our youthful population through digitalization for employability. We therefore thank you, Your Excellency, and the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance for this innovation aimed at exposing young people to opportunities presented by digitalization, and at the same time acknowledge that this is a virgin area not exploited by the youth for employability. In this same spirit, we request that government organizes such fairs in the different cities and districts of our nation to give more exposure and build the capacity of the youth in the usage of digital media for marketing products and employability. The RSU is willing to offer its infrastructure and structures, including our mosques and churches, to the Ministry of ICT for mobilization of the youth. Needless to say that our media outlets are performing very well and are ready for deployment. The Interreligious Council of Uganda, in partnership with government and other like-minded stakeholders, envisions setting up a Tech Youth Employment Center to relay global information on employability to the youth within the IRCU structures. The IRCU will also be holding the National Interfaith Youth Colloquium. The colloquium is an initiative and a program designed to drive mindset change and empower the youth by A, accelerating skills acquisition in practical agriculture, business, tourism, oil, and gas. B, equipping youth with vocational and life skills for competitiveness in the job market, innovation, and exposing them to opportunities within and outside Uganda by optimizing opportunities presented by digitalization. C, supporting youth-led enterprises to pilot and grow innovative ideas. And lastly, creating a platform for the youth to voice out their challenges for effective policy advocacy and identifying shared solutions for political formulation. We thank government, and specifically Your Excellency, the President, for the continued support and for working with the Interreligious Council of Uganda and our Secretariat. We also thank you and thank the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance for the continued partnership with IRCU, and it is our prayer that this partnership will be formalized. Thank you, Your Excellency, for God and my country. And Your Excellency, I request that I hand over this message to you, sir, if you allow. Thank you very much, sir.
Lord, our Creator and Sustainer, praise and glory be to Thee, the cherisher and sustainer of the worlds. Almighty God, you rightly challenged the entire humans and jinns that if they wish to traverse the universe, heavens and the earth, they should do it, but they shall not do it except with technology, which is the highest form of knowledge and science. We thank you, Lord, for promoting an enabling environment to our beloved country, Uganda, by providing a stable and visionary leadership that has caused numerous transformations, ensuring steady peace and tranquility. We therefore pray, Lord, that you bestow upon our beloved leader, the father of this nation, Baba wa Taifa, good health, blessings, and active life to register the desired transformation this country awaits for, to contribute towards the region, the continent, and the global community at large. We also pray for your ardent mercy, for the urgent needed reconciliation between the people of Israel and Palestine from such a destructive war. In your mighty name we have prayed.
Please take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. I will now quickly run through protocol, and my humble request for whoever will be coming, you could go the Honorable Muruli Mukasa way, which is cut protocol, or just state that I adopt the protocol that the MC has undertaken so that we avoid the repetition. But I want to my very first action to be for our young people in this room to put their hands together for His Excellency the President for joining us for this National ICT Job Fair. Your Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Your Excellency the Vice President, Major Retired Jessica Lupo, and your husband, Mr. Peter Abene. The Minister of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi. The Minister for Public Service, the Honorable Muruli Mukasa. The Minister of State for ICT, the Honorable Joyce Sebugwawo. The Minister of Gender, the Honorable Betty Amongi. My apologies, I should have mentioned you earlier. The Minister of State for Education, the Honorable Crisesto Miingo. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of ICT, Dr. Amina Zawede. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Works, Mr. Bagaya Waiswa. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Gender, Mr. Agwe Chibenge. Your Excellency, the Ambassador of China to Uganda, Your Excellency Fan, Ambassador Fan. The representative of JICA, Mr. Yochi. The heads of government agencies, and Your Excellency, the ICT sector has brought all the agencies under its domain here for this second National ICT Job Fair, and I will recognize the heads of these agencies, the Acting Executive Director, UCC, Engineer Irene Kagwa,
the Executive Director and Managing Director, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Winston Agaba, the Executive Director of the BPO Council. That is representation from the sector that, of course, Your Excellency, is supported by the Media Center, the Media Council, and GCIC, that is represented here by Marcela Kareche. Your Excellency, we have key government institutions that are here that include the National Water and Sewage Corporation, and the Managing Director, Dr. Engineer Silva Mugisha, is here. The private sector that supports this sector in driving innovation is represented here by the two telecoms, Airtel and MTN. The Airtel MD is here, and the MTN CTO is also here. Your Excellency, our sponsors for this second National ICT Job Fair include Huawei, our partners who are with us even for the very first National ICT Job Fair, and Next Media, that is represented here by the Chairman of the National Broadcasting Association, NAB, Kin Karisa. Your Excellency, I want in a very special way to request our young people in this room to put their hands together for our sponsors who've enabled us to come here. Can we give a round of applause for our sponsors? Your Excellency, this is the second National ICT Job Fair. The very first fair was at the Makerere University last year, where thousands of young undergraduates and university students turned up to engage with the various institutions in the digital and IT space on the opportunities they can harness in the ICT sector. This job fair, an initiative of the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, Your Excellency, is to highlight the opportunities therein for our young people. And Your Excellency, today we have over 2,000 young people who have joined us today, and we want to appreciate that they made their way. We will be expecting over 10,000 young people today and tomorrow when this job fair will be happening at the Kololo ceremonial grounds. Your Excellency, I want to appreciate the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, which this year, just this year alone, has undertaken several initiatives which included, but is not limited to, the launch of the Digital Transformation Roadmap earlier this year, which was graced by Her Excellency, the Vice President, and we want to appreciate the Ministry of ICT for driving that agenda. And Your Excellency, the most recent past, the launch of the Digital Audio Broadcasting Pilot Project by the Uganda Communications Commission, another initiative under the Ministry of ICT, championed by your very own ministry, the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. I want to now, Your Excellency, take the pleasure of inviting Professor Bazeyo William, Chairperson of the BPO and Innovation Council, to come and make his remarks on the innovation update to the nation. You're very welcome, Professor Bazeyo. Can we give him a round of applause?
Your Excellency, the President of Uganda, Your Excellency, the Vice President, and I'm informed by the MC that all protocol observed. On behalf of the Business Process Outsourcing and Innovation Council, I'd like to thank you, Your Excellency, for supporting and promoting business process outsourcing and innovations to create avenues for employment of the youth in this country. I also thank the technical and political leadership of the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance and partners for championing the country's strategy in exploring opportunities for connecting the youth with appropriate employers and job opportunities, internships, apprenticeships, and trainings in the dynamic ICT sector. As you observed as you moved through the show, you saw a lot of this. Business process outsourcing involves contracting non-primary business activities to a skilled third-party provider. Many people do not understand BPO, and that's why I'm trying to labor so that people understand. When we say business process outsourcing, it does not only mean ICT. It means that you can have jobs created and provided to the people in all sectors, including agriculture, which I'm sure, Mr. President, you are more than happy to know that people can work on your farm when they're in Kampala and your cows will still be well looked after. Your Excellency, the global BPO and IT outsourcing industry has enabled businesses in the markets of Australia, Europe, UAE, UK, and USA, and others to reduce costs. They have reduced their own costs. They boost customer lifetime value. They improve efficiencies. Notably, offshoring of BPO, as you saw the young men saying, they have created jobs for 1,000 people. They are working from Uganda, but working abroad. And Uganda is in such a particular opportunity, has such an opportunity to enjoy this, as I will later on show why Uganda is well positioned. The projected global demand for BPO services by the end of this year, 2023, is $1.01 trillion US, with an estimated workforce of about 2.9 million people. This trillion market presents massive opportunities for emerging markets, particularly for Uganda, due to several favorable factors. Uganda has so many, and I'm going to mention a few of them, which make us so favorable for BPO. The BPO industry has emerged as a significant player in the global economy, providing opportunities for countries to boost their employment rates. And we look at countries like India, the Philippines, which are doing so well. And in Africa, there are a few of them, but Uganda could actually lead. Our council has done research, documented, and corroborated information by comparing and benchmarking several countries in Asia, Europe, and some African countries. And we have identified the key factors for a successful implementation of BPO in Uganda. We have developed with the Ministry of ICT and Development Partners a policy document, a draft national BPO policy, which should be coming to you, Mr. President. And once this policy is approved by you and your cabinet, we have a belief that we will run this BPO outsourcing and we create jobs for Ugandans. This policy aims to create a harmonized, coordinated BPO ecosystem. There is no single country where there is BPO going on where they have no policy. Uganda does not have a policy to guide this, and we need this policy yesterday for our youth who are here to have these jobs. Otherwise, without the policy, it will be very difficult to attract investors in BPO. Let me run through quickly the factors that can make Uganda a successful country as a BPO destination. There is a scorecard, and many people can read about scorecards, but Uganda has several of the scorecard results as positive. One, language. English fluency is a critical asset for BPO operations, as it ensures effective communication with clients in English-speaking countries. Uganda graduates speak good English, giving it a significant advantage in attracting international clients. When I say graduates, I mean graduates from all levels, diplomas, certificates, and vocational institutions. Uganda has what they call very good average hearing time. Average hearing time is when somebody calls you or talks to you in English, and you don't have to say, pardon me, because your English is clear and you're Ugandan and you can communicate well. 2, we have a young, talented workforce. They are here, and I don't know whether they used to know that your average age is 14.96 in Uganda, and all these have very good education. Mr. President, this population of an age of 14.96 is the best population worldwide that can actually do this work, and they are all well trained. Number 3, we have a favorable time zone. Uganda is positioned such that we can work with either Asia, Europe, and USA because of our time zone. It puts us at an advantage, better than many African countries and even other countries elsewhere. I've talked about the youth who are well trained, and I must say we thank you for championing education. The number of universities in this country produce more graduates than all our neighboring countries, and all of them are well trained and they have ICT skills. At this point, I need to request you that when you are talking about job employment, please talk about the quality of the students that we have here, the quality of the graduates that we have, and that way you'll be marketing our youth. Thank you very much. Cost-effective operations. We are known in Uganda that the way we do business, many countries, you know, in Africa, the way they do business, it is very expensive to do business in their countries. It is very cheap to do business in this country because there is government support on the infrastructure and on the investors and on the incentives. However, when we go to BPO, we request that government deliberately puts incentives that target BPO, including designating economic zones, free economic zones, where internet would be free and people would do a lot of business. Security and the data protection. Mr. President, all companies that do BPO have a lot of data, and this data must be stored and must be secure. Some of the data is so confidential, including, for example, the health data. If we are going to operate health BPO in Uganda, people would want their data well stored. Our request as council is that government deliberately invests in building a data center that belongs to government, where people will know that their data is stored and secured by government, not the private sector this time. There are some low-hanging fruits for Uganda's BPO, and these ones we can run with them, and all the people who are here could actually get jobs, including customer service representatives. Customer service roles are a significant segment of BPO industry. Ugandan youth can be employed as customer service, as you saw on the other side, where people are being skilled for customer service. Technical support. This is the IT, the software engineers that we have that can actually develop those required services for Europe and Asia and America. When I say that they develop for them, can't they develop for themselves? I think we are in a better position. As I come to the end, there are other services that we can look at quickly that we can sell as Uganda. Nursing. Uganda trains so many nurses, but America and other countries do not have nurses. Mr. President, I'm not talking about taking our nurses to America or other countries. Nurses will be skilled and they work here and work in those hospitals across the ocean to America and other places. As I conclude, Mr. President, there are several potential and significant benefits of BPO industry in Uganda, and I'm sure the PS and the Minister of ICT will say, and they will tell you the number of jobs that our council has targeted. I will not mention them because this is their ministry. They know what we have targeted and they know what we are waiting for, and they'll mention this. But my request to you is that in your speeches, maybe from today, please talk about BPO as a destination, Uganda as a destination for BPO. And we will have clients that will come here and invest here. Thank you very much. For God and my country.
Your Excellency, that was a statement from the Chair of the BPO Council, Professor Bazeyo. I now take the honor of inviting the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Amina Zawede, to come and make her remarks. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, Her Excellency Honorable Jessica Alupo, the Honorable Minister of ICT and National Guidance, Honorable Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, all ministers present this afternoon, all permanent secretaries present, and all protocol observed from the previous speakers. Good afternoon to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, I also take this honor to, in a special way, to thank our innovators and students who are present here today to take advantage of the opportunities for employment, internships, and ICT skilling that we are presenting to them, Your Excellency. I would like to begin by expressing our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed President for gracing this event with his presence. Your attendance, Mr. President, underscores your unwavering commitment to our nation's future and the youth of Uganda. Your Excellency, in countries where we have visited that promote and support employment opportunities for the youth, having you here present and having you talk about opportunities that Uganda has to offer, just like the BPO chairperson has said, is very pertinent and very key. And I thank you very much, Mr. President, for your presence. I would also like to express a heartfelt appreciation to the Vice President, Her Excellency Jessica Alupo, who has been a staunch supporter in our efforts to digitize Uganda. It was an honor to have her as a guest of honor at the inaugural ICT job fair last year. Your Excellency, we have, under the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, with the leadership of our Honorable Minister, we agreed to have, the National ICT Job Fair run every year. So this is the second in the series of the job fairs that we are holding. And it is truly exciting to see that our Vice President is once again here today at the second ICT job fair. As mentioned earlier, she also presided over our launch of the Digital Transformation Roadmap. These are steps as a sector we are taking in order to streamline the implementation of ICT in this country. Your Excellency, ICT services in Uganda continue to grow at an impressive growth rate of 14.8%. It is important to acknowledge that the ICT sector alone contributes 2% to the aggregate nominal GDP, and that is as at the financial year 2021-2022, and this continues to grow. In terms of numbers, this has grown from 2.79 trillion to 2.93 trillion as at 2020-2021. Your Excellency, as we continue to promote Uganda as a destination for employment opportunities in Uganda, the ICT sector is going to shed light on the current status of affairs that we have in Uganda. Of course, we are all aware that we have so many young people. The chairperson has said the average age is 14.9 years old, but we have 32 universities in Uganda, and we graduate 30,000 students every year. All these students go out into the job market to look for opportunities. Some of them are got within the country, and others can be got outside the country. Your Excellency, we have a number of initiatives that have been taken and done towards creating employment opportunities. You have some young people placed in different parts of this country who have set up companies and are recruiting youths to do jobs for companies and countries outside Uganda. Your Excellency, the National Labor Force Survey indicates that 42.9% of those who do find employment have necessary education for their jobs, while 46.1% are undereducated for their positions. This therefore underscores the importance of job relevant skilling, and especially in the sectors like ICT. In our digital transformation roadmap, Your Excellency, digital skilling is one of the priorities of this roadmap. The roadmap has 5 priorities that we are going to focus on in the next 5 years. The first one is infrastructure and connectivity. The second one is digital skilling, like I have mentioned. We also have to focus on ensuring that we have cyber security and data protection and privacy. Then we also have to focus on innovation and entrepreneurship, as well as taking services online. So, Your Excellency, if we have all these areas that we are talking about or focus in place, we are going to create an ecosystem or environment that is favorable for having BPO succeed and thrive in Uganda. We are optimistic that if we do this, the BPO industry will generate over 200,000 jobs annually, that is valued at over $1 billion by 2030. Your Excellency, last year, we launched a campaign that we called Uganda Being Africa's Innovation Powerhouse. In the journey to brand Uganda as a destination for ICT investment, we have to be very passionate about promoting Uganda, about marketing it, about showing off the values that we have in our country. And as we launched this campaign, we took to Dubai some young people who were doing, whose companies to date, we have one of them, a medical services company that has expanded its operations up to Tanzania. We are investing time, resources, and efforts in initiatives, projects, and programs like this that will expose our country and the opportunities that we have for our young people. Your Excellency, in order for us to, as we're walking through the stalls, you showed us the phone that you're using. But I would also like to take this opportunity to let you know what it takes for us to, to realize business process outsourcing. First, we need 4G mobile connection, which is now defined as one of the minimum requirements for a meaningful internet connectivity. Uganda's 4G population coverage is, however, only 31%, which is below the African average of 50%. The Digital Uganda Vision has a target of 50% 4G coverage. In the region, we have Kenya and Rwanda at 94 and 98%, while Tanzania is still at 13%. When it comes to connectivity for Ugandans, 10% of Ugandans use internet in Uganda, well below the Digital Uganda vision target of at least 50%. The African average is 40%. When it comes to smartphone, usage and ownership, about 15% of Ugandans have smartphones. Your Excellency, you should also get a smartphone because it is an essential tool for exploiting the broadband opportunity in all aspects of personal and national economic development. Using a feature phone or a basic phone that our young people call katochi, Your Excellency, in a broadband environment is like riding a bicycle on an expressway. When you do so, you make progress, but you also Your Excellency, you will make progress, but you will slow down other users on this road. So when it comes to smartphones, Kenya, Rwanda, and Tanzania at 41%, 15%, and 30% respectively. We need to grow our smartphone penetration, Your Excellency. But on the good side, Ugandans spend 8% of their average monthly income on 2G data, data-only mobile mobile bundles. This is the highest proportion in the East African community, except for Burundi, which is at 13.7%, and much higher than the Broadband Commission affordability target of 2%. Ugandans primarily acquire digital skills in higher education, and yet in the ideal world, we are supposed to acquire the digital skills right from the inception of primary school. Excuse me. So given that only 8% of individuals aged 15 years old have completed post-secondary education above the significant proportion of the population, we expect that they should require additional training and support to fully participate in what we call a competitive digital economy. Lastly, on the issues, Your Excellency, 70% of urban areas have access to electricity compared to 33% of rural areas, which increases the cost of delivery of broadband services and therefore the cost to the users. Your Excellency, it's not my intention to present only problems in this speech. We have detailed solutions to these problems in our roadmap, like I have highlighted, given the priorities. We have focused on promoting transparency, opening government data to public scrutiny, and also automating government processes while restricting discretion of officials and limiting citizens' interaction with gatekeepers to access key services. We are proud, Your Excellency, that under the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, we have overseen the development of some of the systems that we are using in government. So we are doing well in accelerating digitization of government operations, but Your Excellency, we need to do more. We have developed systems like the Parish Development Management Information system that you saw. Our procurement is now done online with the electronic government procurement system. We have developed the Education Management Information System that is being used by the Ministry of Education. And this system to date has registered over 11 million learners. And we are able to track who these learners are, where the teachers are, so that we don't have the challenges of ghost teachers that we have been laboring with in the past. We have also developed an online business registration system that is being used by URSB to register businesses online. And today we boast of the short duration that it takes for businesses to do online registration, Your Excellency. We have also developed the electronic document management system. Your Excellency, in the next about 2-3 years, you're not going to see any papers in government offices because we have embarked on this process. Under the Ministry of ICT, we are using the e-document. Thank you. you very much. We are using the e-document management system. It is also being used by the Ministry of Public Service, and we are rolling it out to various other ministries. We have also overseen the development of the integrated hospital management information system that is aimed at ensuring that we follow up on medications, drug supplies, and all that in health facilities in this country. Your Excellency, all these systems have been developed by our own Ugandans, which deserve a round of applause for our Ugandans. These Ugandans are young people who have gone out of their way to develop the skill of building digital applications, and with that also comes creating employment opportunities, because when a group of innovators come together to develop a system like the e-procurement system, it will need support, it will need maintenance, and therefore they will or are recruiting and employing other people along the way. Your Excellency, I am happy to share that in addition to development of these systems, and as we brand Uganda as a destination for ICT investments and an innovation powerhouse for Africa, we also have to focus and invest in communication. It is very important for us to communicate and bring out the best image of what our country is. When investors are coming to this country, the first thing they do, Your Excellency, is go online and find out what is it that is being said about Uganda. And therefore, it is the mandate of the Ministry of ICT to strengthen and support the communication function as well, both within the country and outside the country. We have gone a step ahead and developed the national, the communications policy and the national guidance policy that we are presenting soon to Cabinet, that will spell out the best way and effective way of having effective communication, as well as guiding our youth on how they should behave in the job environments or in their countries as we present these opportunities for them. Your Excellency, whenever we have these job fairs compared to the next year, now I'm looking at what we have today, we have had opportunities grow. We are going to private sector and telling them, private sector, you're the ones who have opportunities for our youth. We are also going to go out of the country and market ourselves as that. Last year, we had about 1,000 opportunities that were presented for our young people that included jobs, internships, skilling, as well as being a part of innovative apprenticeships. But today, for this job fair, we have grown tenfold. We have close to 10,000 opportunities that are going to be presented for our young people. And our young people, we expect that you will go to these stalls and take advantage of these opportunities. So the message that I have to our young people is that prepare yourselves for the opportunities. When we go and market, bring these products close to you, you also have to be fit for purpose to acquire them. So prepare yourselves and be the best candidate that that will be offered these opportunities. In addition to the communication program, Your Excellency, we started 2 programs at the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. We have a podcast that we call the Ugandan Podcast that enables us to communicate government programs. We also have what we call the tweet chat that also helps us to communicate government programs, because as you know, these young people who are 14 years old, 15 years as the majority, these are the spaces that they use to understand and appreciate what we communicate. So we invite people to give their points of views. The young people call this POV, and this encourages them to listen from time to time to what government has to offer to them, as well as what government is doing for them. So I call upon you people to listen in to our Ugandan podcast and to the tweet chat to be able to get the opportunities that we have to offer. To the young people present here and online, make the most of this job fair, stand in your confidence, learn and be diligent when these jobs, apprenticeships and opportunities are offered to you. To the employers that we have here and all over the country, as well as outside this country, please keep your minds open and give the young people a chance. Their intellect, innovation spirit and creativity may be the recipe that stirs the growth and digital transformation in your entity. As we go forward, we hope to decentralize the national ICT job fair to the various regions of this country. Your Excellency, we have young people spread out over the country, and we want to take these opportunities to them. We'll go to the north, to the west, to the east, and traverse the entire country to bring opportunities to our young people. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to leave you with this quote that I always use, especially for the young people. Opportunity is missed by very many because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work, or it might look like dirty work. Just press on, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. I say all this for God and my country. Thank you. Your Excellency, I do not want people to think that these job fairs are not real. I will take this opportunity to invite one of the people who got a job last year from the first job fair to give us his testimony. In 1 minute, please. Mr. Christopher, where are you? You have to run because you have to show you're energetic. Yeah, young people run.
Thank you very much. Our beloved guests, the President of Uganda, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the Vice President, Her Excellency Jessica Alupo, all ministers of state present today, all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. My name is Christopher Katogo, and I'm honored to be standing before you today at the ICT Job Fair. My story started last year when I attended the first ever held job fair that was held at Makerere, and here we are today at the Kololo ceremonial grounds, and I believe that it is even greater because we have our head of state that has decided to join us today, and with our esteemed ministers that have come along. When I attended the job fair last year, I was introduced to the Huawei ICT Academy, and with that initiative, I decided to take on some courses like Datacom, 5G that were in the ICT industry. With that, I was able to take part in the ICT competition that was like testing my knowledge at the international stage in Shenzhen, where we lifted our Uganda flag high because we secured the second position on the international stage. Oh, thank you. Upon our return from Shenzhen, we were offered different internship opportunities. Okay, for the companies that are available are offering opportunities, and I was offered at Huawei, and I'm glad to say that I successfully completed my internship, and I stand before you as a product and solution engineer at Huawei. As I conclude, I would want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Ministry of ICT, to Huawei and all the companies that have joined to make this opportunity come true, not only on my behalf, but also on behalf of the countless others that have benefited from this opportunity. I would want to thank the government of Uganda and our head of state, His Excellency, for opening up to Huawei, because it is the reason why we stand here today. I want to thank the companies that are offering a pool of opportunities to the talented youth that we have today, and I again stress the message that if you're seeking for opportunities, please do not give up, because this is an opportunity for you to secure, this is a chance for you to secure an opportunity for yourself. Thank you for your attention, and together we can shape the future of ICT for God and my country.
Thank you very much, Christopher, for that testimony. Your Excellency, we cannot have this job fairs succeed without the support from our different development partners and the private sector. Your Excellency, for this job fair and the previous one, Huawei has been one of our main sponsors and supporters to make this job fair succeed. This year we have Next Media that has also supported us, Airtel Uganda has also supported us, and many others, MTN and so on and so forth. The private sector foundation support us to drive ICT because ICT is driven largely by the private sector in economies that thrive digitally. So, Your Excellency, lastly, I will invite the CEO, Huawei, to just give one word in a minute to show his commitment for the next job fairs that we are going to have going forward. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, the President of Uganda, Your Excellency, the Vice President, Honorable Minister, President, members of different diplomatic missions present, all protocol present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and great you all. I will introduce myself with my Chinese name, which is Xie Qiuxiang. My English name is Sunrise, Managing Director of Huawei Uganda. I'm really honored to be here today, not only as development partner to the Ministry of ICT, but also one of the sponsors of this big event. Last year, on International Youth Day, together with the Ministry of ICT and the National Guidance, we held the first ICT industry job fair at Makerere University. Various industry partners more than 1,000 jobs opportunities in different forms. Huawei offered 50 internship positions, and now these 15 interns have now become our full-time employers. This year, we will continue to offer 50 internship opportunities. In addition, we will also provide 500 advanced ICT technologies training courses for free for those who registered with us from this job fair and beyond. I hope you all that are interested to boost their employability status, please maximize these opportunities to study more. Such certifications are key to the next point of employer, or you can use this knowledge to build up a smarter business. Together with our customers, started build 2G networks, then 3G and 4G networks. Now we are working on the 5G network. I believe with the government attention and support, Uganda will certainly have the fastest speed, the lowest tariff, and the best experienced communication network in Africa. Our vision and mission is bring digital to every person, home, and organizations for a fully connected, intelligent world. We are really working with Uganda to build a fully connected and intelligent Uganda. At the same time, we realized that talent is also an important part of development of ICT technologies. Over the past few years, we have cooperated with 50 universities in Uganda to set up ICT academics. Each year, we trained about 50,000 Ugandans in the most advanced ICT technologies at no cost. We organized students from the ICT Academy to participate in the global ICT competition. In May 2023, there are 4 teams from Uganda to participate in the global ICT competition in China. The 4 teams won the second prize in the competition among more than 500 universities from 16 countries. Besides ICT talent training programs, we also have some other CSR programs like a digital track, which launched by His Excellency, the President of Uganda on International Women's Day this year, and cooperate with the Ministry with Labor, Gender and Social Development, which intended to benefit 10,000 people in a span of 3 years. There are some SMEs who we have offered free Huawei cloud resource support for another 3 years as a CSR activities. These SMEs covered sectors like e-ticket, BPO and innovation areas, and so on. Huawei Uganda slogan is a better you for a better Uganda, meaning a better Uganda from a better you. Huawei is willing to work with Uganda to provide the world's the most advanced technologies and the strongest ICT talent cultivation. I believe that ICT technologies will make significant contributions to Uganda's economic development and the people's well-being. Together, let us build an intelligent Uganda. Thank you for listening to me.
Your Excellency, I now take this opportunity to invite our Honorable Minister of State for ICT in charge of ICT and National Guidance in charge of ICT, Honorable Joyce Nabosa Sebugwao, to give her remarks. You're welcome, Honorable Joyce.
Our chief guest, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the Vice President, retired Major General Jessica Arupo, all protocol observed. It is with great pleasure that I stand here you today to welcome you to this colorful occasion, the National ICT Job Fair 2023. This event, which is a collaborative effort between the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, Huawei Technologies Uganda, and other partners, reflects our collective commitment to addressing the issue of youth unemployment in Uganda, particularly in the dynamic field of information and communication technology. As we gather here, it is important to underscore the significance of this endeavor. Uganda boasts of a young and vibrant population, but the challenge of matching their skills with the requirements of our growing ICT sector remains. The National ICT Job Fair serves as a bridge connecting our talented youth with the many opportunities this sector offers. The ICT sector is a driver for economic growth and innovation, and our government has made substantial investments in creating an enabling environment for its development. However, this growth can only be sustained if we ensure that the workforce is equipped with the right skills. This is where the job fair plays a pivotal role. Over the next 2 days, we will witness a convergence of minds and talents where job seekers will interact with the potential employers and where learning and networking will go hand in hand. The event also offers a platform for showcasing the cutting-edge innovations of our young ICT lovers. We are honored to have His Excellency the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as our chief guest, underscoring the significance of this initiative for our nation. I extend my gratitude to all participating organizations, institutions, and individuals for your commitment to making this event a success. Before I conclude, Your Excellency, allow me to mention two young people who have been working tirelessly to make sure that this Job Fair 2023 is a success. One is Jesse Ofon, Senior Communication Officer at the Ministry. I don't know where he is. And another one is Soma Fauzia Muchala, a technology of Huawei. Could you stand up for recognition? They have been working so hard day and night to make sure that this, here he comes. That is Ofon, Jesse Ofon. They have been working so hard, Your Excellency, to make sure that this job fair is really a success. In conclusion, I therefore look forward to witnessing the positive outcome of this job, where careers will be launched, innovation celebrated, and collaboration forged. Let us seize this opportunity to shape a brighter future for our youth and our nation. I thank you so much for listening to me, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Banayinga bazukulu ba minister tubawengalo, honorable minister tumuwengalo. Your Excellency, abazukulu bo balaze katochiko mpulide wano baseka bali eno bebuza how is it possible His Excellency here in Akatoch, as the PS was talking about you acquiring a smartphone, Your Excellency. The bazukulu, I heard them saying they want your Instagram account, and Your Excellency, we told them you have a very smart team that helps you on that part, and that you are connected. Your Excellency, this job fair is being broadcast live on UBC and NBS, and so we are not just reaching the thousands who are here, but the millions of young people across the country who are able to listen in and watch across the different networks, including the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation radio networks in the 27 languages within which we broadcast. And this information will be translated for our people so that they can embrace the opportunities in the sector. Your Excellency, the Ministry of ICT, through these initiatives, supporting the various stakeholders, including the Uganda Revenue Authority, who last week, Your Excellency, launched their digital strategy. It is at that event last week that the Commissioner General announced that our tax to GDP had grown from 13 to 14% because they are harnessing the power of digital and the innovations they've undertaken in the digital space with the support of NITA Uganda to bring more people on board and increase our tax base. I want to now take the pleasure, Your Excellency, of inviting the Charge d'Affaires, the interim of the People's Republic of China to Uganda, His Excellency Fan Jean Cheng, to come and make his remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause.
Your Excellency, President of Uganda, Your Excellency, Vice President Jessica Lupo, Honorable Ministers, Minister of States, Managing Director Sunrise of Huawei Uganda, distinguished guests, Habari. I'm very honored to be here today for the ICT Job Fair opening ceremony, jointly hosted by the Uganda government and Huawei Uganda. At this wonderful and significant event, I wish to thank Your Excellency President Museveni and the government of Uganda for your commitment on China-Uganda cooperation, especially in the sectors of ICT infrastructure, education, and innovation. under the strategic guidance of President Xi Jinping and President Museveni, China-Uganda relationship has made significant progress in recent years and is in its best shape. I still remember on the 25th August, Your Excellency President Museveni officially commissioned 16 new Chinese factories in Mubale Industrial Park. It is with your firm support that investors like Huawei can develop and prosper in an enabling environment in Uganda, and in turn can join hands in making their share of contribution to promoting Uganda's transition to digital economy. Since setting foot in Uganda in 2001, Huawei is highly acclaimed for its devotion to high-quality ICT infrastructure construction and strong sense of corporate social responsibility. Through the Better You for a Better Uganda ICT talents training programs, over 6,000 young talents in Uganda have received technologies training and developed practical skills for the ICT industry. Many of them have already started working in the ICT industry and been harvesting good results. Now, more than 70% of Huawei Uganda's employees are local, and for many years, we have gladly seen it awarded as the best employer in the world. I believe Huawei will continue to play a significant role in spurring technology innovation and economic development for Ugandan communities. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, today China is hosting high-level delegations from more than 140 BRI countries at the 3rd Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation in Beijing, a grand event coincident with the 10th anniversary of BRI. Chinese President His Excellency Xi Jinping will deliver important speech in retrospection of the first decade of BRI and navigate it to new waters. The BRI, which is incepted by China, but benefits the whole world with the principles of comprehensive consultation, joint contribution, shared benefits, has championed the drive for facility connectivity, trade facilitation, financial integrity, and people-to-people amity, which has delivered real benefits to the world and the peoples of BRI countries. Over the past decade, China-Uganda practical cooperation under the BRI framework has shown vitality and strength against global uncertainties, with the spectrum spans over bilateral trade and investment, infrastructure, health and education, capacity building, as well as modern agriculture. Just to mention a few, I'd like to report to Your Excellency, President of Uganda, our bilateral trade volume in 2022 amounts $1.13 billion, a 6.6% year-on-year growth. China's direct investment to Uganda reached $131 million in 2022. Both sides have signed and enforced AEO mutual recognition arrangement, thus authorized economic operators from each side be accorded preferential policies at customs clearances. China has granted zero tariff treatment to 98% of taxable items imported from Uganda. Infrastructure developments like the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway, both the Isimba and Karuma hydro power plants, the Kingfisher oil field rigs, etc., have not only transformed the skyline of Uganda as that of a robust growing economy, but also empowered Uganda for sustainable development. For example, the Kampala-Entebbe Expressway has helped Uganda to make an income of 34 billion shillings in 2022 alone. The Chinese medical team has marked its 40th anniversary being dispatched to Uganda, where they treated millions of patients. Since 2016, over 6,000 Ugandans have attended workshops and seminars for capacity building in China in the fields healthcare, ICT, agriculture, bamboo, infrastructure, and media, etc. Alone this year, the Chinese government has invited more than 300 Ugandan officials and technicians to visit China for training programs. And the ongoing third phase of China FAO Uganda South-South Cooperation Agricultural Project will directly benefit more than 9,600 local farmers, with 3,000 Ugandan women included. The fruitful list of China-Uganda BRI outcomes is still in steady expansion. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ICT is one of the most important areas of investment through the Belt and Road Initiative when the fourth industrial revolution is reshaping the landscape of the world digital economy. It is encouraging to see that Uganda has identified the ICT sector as one of the primary drivers for achieving economic growth and status as a middle-income country. China is ready to work with Uganda to accelerate the implementation of its ICT Vision 2040 and embrace the fourth industrial revolution. We will continue to work with the Uganda government to implement the digital innovation program of the 8th FOCAC ministerial meeting. We will also continue to support Huawei and other Chinese companies in actively connecting with Uganda's national development strategy through Buy Uganda and Build Uganda, advocated by Your Excellency President Museveni, to help fulfill fast growth, increased productivity, and more job creation for Uganda. I'm sure Huawei Uganda will continue to work for sustainable development of Uganda ICT human resources. Being a proud leader in the construction, research, and development of ICT infrastructure, Huawei's success in Uganda is a token of the China-Uganda Comprehensive Cooperative Partnership. I wish today's National ICT Job Fair a great success. Thank you all.
Your Excellency, we are almost done. We just have two more speeches, and then your Bazukulu will be able to listen to you. I want to take the pleasure of inviting the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, the Honourable Amongi Betty, to come and make her remarks. Can we give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen?
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Excellency, the Vice President, Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to start by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to the leadership of the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance and Huawei for putting together these events, which is meant to facilitate a job fair targeting the young people, and to thank HE, the President, for his guidance always in events like this. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and the team from the Ministry. The objective of the fair is to provide opportunity to students and the youth to interface with multiple employers and different stakeholders that are providing a platform for employment to them. And when we visited the exhibition, we were presented with several initiatives that have propelled the job market for the young people. And I think we need to applaud the innovators who are exhibiting. I want to emphasize that the youth that falls under the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development continue to be the segment of the population that dominates the labor force. With the population of 70% as the young people, with 41% of this youth neither in employment nor education or training, an initiative like this will go a long way in scaling the 41% who are still outside the employment to the employment sector, albeit with the intervention in the agricultural sector under the parish development model and others. The population of Uganda under 20 years of age needs to enter into the job market. The statistics for those who are either underemployed or unemployed calls for a deliberate actions and interventions towards addressing these issues among the youth. I am glad that under the various government initiatives, we have not only been engaged in other activities that give the public service jobs, which Honorable Muruli Mukasa aids, which maybe employ very few people, but government has focused on stimulating the economy to support growth of employment. And our ministry, we have the Juakali project, which trains youth on skills. Recently, Your Excellency, the State House Skilling Project and Program also exhibited a number of skilling programs that will target those youth who cannot benefit from a job fair under the ICT, and most of whom are up country. A number of the youth are being skilled in job creation sector trades like welding, tailoring, industrial aspects, making furniture, agricultural value chain, and many, many more. Therefore, an activity like this complements other government programs that are already being undertaken to support youth unemployment and underemployment. Our ministry, besides the Juakali, also runs a program which is Uganda Women Entrepreneurship and Youth Livelihood Program, which supports youth with cheap capital to start the businesses. I'm certain that though we have these job fairs, most of you who would want to start the businesses under the ICT job fair would require capital to start those. Under the program in the Ministry of Gender, the Youth Venture Capital Fund, which is accessed from the bank at very low interest rate, most of which do not exceed 10%, the Youth Livelihood Program will support youth who would want to start their own program and businesses and enterprises. Youth Skillings, Apprenticeship, Graduate Volunteer Scheme. The Graduate Volunteer Scheme is where youth who have finished either a diploma or a degree is matched with a company, and when you're matched with the company, we place you in that company, we pay you transport allowance where you are able to work and gain experience, so that when you apply for the jobs that requires experience, then you would have that experience through the graduate volunteer scheme. Now we have the growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises, and I urge the young women to ensure that you benefit from this program, which will support sector training, certification, access to market, value addition for products, ensuring that you access low income, low interest rate for starting up your businesses or scaling up your businesses that are already there. Therefore, the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development acknowledges the critical role ICT plays in empowering individuals and communities, opening doors to new opportunities, enhancing productivity, and driving economic growth. And in line with our mandate, we will continue to mobilize and empower the communities and the youth to harness the opportunity presented through events like this. And therefore, I would like to strongly believe that this collaboration we will continue, and I note that the VPO is supposed to be sent to Cabinet as a ministry. We will support what the professor is proposing under Ministry of ICT. I therefore commit that we will continue to work together to ensure that the enabling environment to support implementation of programs and interventions geared towards employment creation, production, bridging the gap through advocacy, awareness creation, mobilization, coordination, and mindset change for the youth, the community, and the grassroots that should participate in such programs are coordinated under our ministry. I therefore would like to conclude by congratulating the Ministry of ICT, Huawei, and all the partners for this wonderful exhibition. And I urge the young people that please take all the interest that you can and make sure that when you require support from our ministry in terms of looking for money that can propel you to start that business that you would have generated through the job fair, you contact our ministry so that we can work together. With that, I want to thank you and congratulate the events organizers.
Your Excellency, I now take the pleasure of inviting the Minister of ICT and National Guidance. Your Excellency, as he comes, our young people have been enjoying the free internet from our service providers, NITA Uganda. Your Excellency, due to matters of security, I won't explain to them why they can't access now, but shortly I will provide that internet for you.
Your Excellency, General Huawei Museveni, President of Uganda and Chairman of the NRM, Your Excellency, Jessica Arupo, Vice President of Uganda, I acknowledge the presence of colleague ministers, as well as the representative of the Embassy of the People's Republic of China to Uganda, and the head of Huawei in Uganda, and as earlier advised by the Master of Ceremonies, the interest of time, let me stand on the protocols already observed. Your Excellency, permit me, I will not read the speech which has been prepared for me. It's lengthy, but in the interest of time, I will just paraphrase it, but also speak from my heart. Let me request the audience to give a very big round of applause to His Excellency the President and thank him for finding time to come and be with us today, but also for us at the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance for being a great champion and an advocate for ICT in our country. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And we also thank Your Excellency, the Vice President, because you have always been with us and you are passionate about ICT. Your Excellency, I want to briefly give a historical, political, and technical context for us to appreciate why we are here today. Uganda went through about 70 years under colonial rule. And when we attained independence, we also went through about 24 years of a difficult situation here in Uganda. Your Excellency, the other day we're marking 61 years of independence, and we know NRM has been in charge for the bigger part of that period. Now, when NRM took over the responsibility of leading this country in 1986, you inherited a country which we equate to a patient who was on oxygen and surviving on steroids. The population in 1986 was estimated to be around 14 million Ugandans, Your Excellency. Today, we project the population to be over 45 million Ugandans, and next year, in May, starting on the 9th of May to be exact, the government of Uganda will be carrying out a national population and housing census to get a proper estimate of how many people live in Uganda. But under your leadership, Your Excellency, the population of Uganda has increased by more than 3 times. And there are 2 cardinal factors responsible for this increase. One is that we are fertile. We give birth to children, because fertility is one factor that explains population change, especially positive population change. The other is that when you assumed leadership, Your Excellency, you deliberately invested in policies and programs that ensured child survival. I do recall the heavy programs of immunization and other child survival programs, because then many children would not survive, celebrate their first birthday. Many children would not survive, celebrate their 5th birthday, and many children would not transition from childhood to adulthood. And some who could transition would do so with disabilities due to polio and other preventable diseases. And you took a decision to invest in healthcare and also in programs that ensured that young people survived. I do recall, Your Excellency, when NRM came, HIV and AIDS was a big problem in this country. We were losing many people. But we are among the few leaders in the world, when everybody was in denial, you openly came out and said, we know how HIV is transmitted. Let us work and unite as Ugandans to defeat HIV and AIDS. And you were able to reverse a catastrophic situation in Uganda, because in the late 80s and early 90s, Uganda had one of the highest prevalence rates in the world, because then we estimated the adult prevalence rate to be at 18.5% and also 30.5% among pregnant women. But Uganda is among the few countries which reversed that trend in a short period. So because of those progressive initiatives, Ugandans, especially the children, survived. That explains why we have a huge segment of our population being young people. So the message to you, the young people, that when we see ourselves alive, it's because President Yoweri Museveni put in place programs and measures to ensure that the children that we give birth to survive. They don't die young like it was in the past. And therefore, we appreciate you, Your Excellency. So now when you do the demographic profile of the Ugandan population, the majority are children and young people, and they do survive. Now, the other progressive policy, Your Excellency, that you initiated was expansion of the educational opportunities in Uganda. When you came, we only had Makerere University as the only university in Uganda. The last time I checked with the National Council for Higher Education, I think they have registered up to 53 universities licensed, both public and private. And almost every corner of this country has a university and many other tertiary institutions, meaning that the many young people that you caused to survive have access to education. And many of these young people here are highly educated because they have accessed university, college, and tertiary institutions, Your Excellency. And over the years, over the last 30 plus years, the situation in Uganda, Your Excellency, has improved. We have indicators which we use to measure the quality of life. One of them, for instance, is life expectancy at birth. That when you give birth to a child today, for how long is that child expected to survive and live? When you came, Your Excellency, life expectancy at birth had gone as low as 43 years, meaning a child who would be born then would live averagely for only 43 years, the expectation of life. But this, in a record time, has increased now to 63.3 years. And it is very phenomenal. Those of you who are scholarly, you check, there are few countries which have been able to raise expectation of life in a short period by those units. Whether you look at the infant mortality rates, maternal mortality, and many other indicators, poverty levels, there has been a very strong improvement in the last 30 or 40 years under your leadership. Your Excellency, one of the challenges that we still face as a country is that we have many young people, courtesy of your leadership. They have survived, they have accessed education, but we have a challenge of ensuring that our young people have access to decent opportunities for employment. And that explains why we are here today, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, I want to appreciate your personal efforts and the efforts of government, because in all your speeches, in all your endeavors, you are always stressing the need to create employment opportunities for Ugandans, especially your Abazukuru. You have attracted very many investments, and there are factories and industries which have been built here in Uganda, creating many jobs. You have been very emphatic on the issue of value addition, that we should not export our products in a raw form, that they should be processed here, and all those are efforts aimed at creating job opportunities for our young people. When you brought the PDM, the parish development model, you were very categorical that of the money under the financial inclusion pillar, which we give to capitalize circles that are based at parishes, because we give 100 million Uganda shillings to every parish circle every year, and the money is flowing, Your Excellency. You did direct that of that money, 20% should be given to the young people. That of the 100 million that the government sends to capitalize the parish development circle at the parish, the youth should take 20% of that, meaning out of the 120 million shillings are for the young people. This is very deliberate, so that young people can invest in production and be part of this economy. So I want to appreciate Your Excellency for those deliberate efforts to ensure that the quality of life of our young people improves and that the young people continue to play a cardinal and meaningful role in our national economy. Your Excellency, in 2006, you created the ministry responsible for ICT. Later on, you added the responsibility of government communication, and therefore we handle ICT, which basically is to drive the digital transformation agenda in this country, but also we handle government communications. And I want to thank Your Excellency and report that the ministry has done a lot, the previous speakers, including my permanent secretary, have highlighted. But when you appointed us, Your Excellency, in 2021, we were a new team of ministers and the permanent secretary. You did give us an instruction that we should do all it takes to see that we use ICT to create job and employment opportunities for our young people, both within the country and also outside the country through business process outsourcing. Now, today's function, we are calling it a job fair, a national ICT job fair. This is the second one because we held one last year at Makerere University where, again, we attracted very many partners and young people. And in a nutshell, what we do or what is happening here is that we have worked with the Ministry of Gender, with support from Huawei Technologies Uganda and NBS and other partners, and invited different agencies, organizations, and companies to come and exhibit. And I want to thank you that you found time to go through the various booths where different agencies and corporations are displaying their work. And also invited Ugandans, particularly young people, so that there is an interface, there is an interaction. And the organization, the companies, will be explaining to the young people the opportunities available in terms of employment, because you may complete university education, you are running around with your CV, there is a job somewhere in a company, but you cannot connect. You cannot connect. So this is a platform to enable the young people particularly to interface with the various organizations where there are opportunities so that you are able to talk and see where opportunities are. Opportunities in terms of employment, opportunities in terms of internship and apprenticeship, opportunities in terms of trainings. We have engaged various experts who will be here to train and give you skills, not only in the cutting edge technologies which are available, but also in the basics of getting employment. How do you write a CV? How do you write an application form? Some of those things which appear basic, but can be a hindrance for you to get an opportunity to be employed. We therefore want to thank our partners who are working with us to provide this opportunity for our young people. As a ministry, Your Excellency, we are trying our level best with your guidance and support to create a conducive atmosphere, to create a supportive ecosystem in Uganda to enable all those who are investing, who are innovating, and who are in the field of ICT to be able to do their work. And I'm sure Ugandans appreciate that speaking here today in 2023, compare Uganda with 10 years, 20 years back, there is a big difference in terms of the digital transformation. You hardly see queues in the banks. People now use mobile money transactions and many others. And for us as the government, Your Excellency, is that we shall continue to invest in the digital infrastructure and also address all those enabling factors to ensure that Ugandans can be part of this digital revolution. We've been able to lay on the ground up to 4,172 kilometers of the national backbone infrastructure, which is the main source of the internet. Your Excellency, recently you instructed us to hook our network to that of Tanzania because we've been relying on the route from Indian Ocean through Kenya. Just a few weeks, about 2 weeks ago, I was in Dar es Salaam where we signed the memorandum of understanding and the connection has already been done. And because of that, plus other factors, I'm sure you recall, Ugandans, when we announced as a ministry that the cost of internet has now come down. The government provided internet. Just about a month ago, we announced that has dropped from $70 per megabyte per second per month. That's how we measured it, to 35. And Your Excellency, this is a reduction from about $300 in 2016. In 2016, the cost of internet was $300 per megabyte per second per month. And because of the initiatives of government, the cost continues to get down. Now it's at 35, but our target is to bring it even much further. We are now in advanced stages of starting the phase 5 of laying the fiber. We are working with Huawei. We shall be able to lay this internet fiber to the rest of the country and also do last mile connections, connect schools, district headquarters, health centers, and through that there will be more Ugandans who are hooked on the internet, and that also will bring down the cost plus other measures which we are pursuing. So Your Excellency, we want to thank you for that support that you continue to give us. My engagement with the stakeholders, Your Excellency, they indicate that in this job fair, we have up to 10,163 opportunities available for the young people. And this job fair will run today. Here we are at an opening ceremony, but once we finish the opening ceremony, please feel free, the young people, to engage the different agencies and partake of these different opportunities. Your Excellency, what is being discussed here is mainly what we call onshore job opportunities, opportunities within the country. But also as a ministry, as Professor Bazeyo and the Permanent Secretary highlighted, we are also working on the offshore opportunities, opportunities for Ugandans outside Uganda, particularly where we do it through digital means, that you don't have to relocate from Uganda to go to Europe or the US. You can be employed outside when you are physically located here through the BPO, the business process outsourcing. And from our estimates, we have close to 20,000 Ugandans who are benefiting from these BPO opportunities, and we are targeting that by 2025 we should increase this to at least 50,000 and even beyond. And Professor Bazeyo highlighted a number of measures which we are putting in place, including writing a policy and also the advantages that Uganda continues to enjoy as a BPO destination. And in addition to what Professor Bazeyo also highlighted, what makes Uganda tick in terms of the best BPO destination is the many young people, like I have said, educated, and skilled, the geographical location of Uganda, but also the stable geopolitical environment, Your Excellency, which you have created, because Uganda is peaceful from corner to corner, and that also is an advantage. And also we have put in place many legislations and policies, especially looking at cyber laws, which protect investors who are interested in investing in the area of BPOs and other IT-related services. I was also reading a report by the World Linguistic Society, and it was indicating that Uganda has been ranked as the best English-speaking country in Africa. In Africa, yes. I hope I'm speaking very good English as a Ugandan. So all those make Uganda the best destination for BPOs, and we are doing all it takes, Your Excellency, to make sure that we attract all these companies. We have signed an MOU with a European company based in Romania to help us source for opportunities within the European community. We have also discussed with the government of the Philippines, because they are quite advanced in terms of BPOs. We are working with them and helping us to get opportunities, especially in America. So on this front, we are moving very fast. And also there are a number of investors who are putting up IT parks within the country, and therefore we want to strengthen that field of getting employment opportunities for our young people, both within the country but also outside the country through the BPOs. And some of the teams which are exhibiting their work are BPO companies located here in Uganda. We have up to 42 BPO companies, and we want to thank you for the partnership that we continue to enjoy as a ministry for ICT and national guidance. So, Your Excellency, as I move towards the conclusion, as a ministry, our request to you is that the government continues to prioritize ICT, because ICT is an enabler, and ICT is the way to go. Your Excellency, the future is digital, and therefore as government, we need to put more resources in this area in order for us to have accelerated growth in our economy, Your Excellency. And we shall invest in many areas as a ministry, as a government, in expanding the digital infrastructure, like the national backbone infrastructure, the digital literacy, building digital sovereignty, where we have to build the capacity within the country to develop our IT systems and software rather than relying on people from outside. The young people usually ask me, Your Excellency, every time I have a media briefing, that when are you opening Facebook? And I tell them that Facebook was developed by a young person outside. Why don't you innovatively develop your own Facebook? Because Facebook didn't come from heaven, and we have the skills and expertise to develop our own Facebook and many other platforms for communication and the others. So our resolve and commitment as a ministry is to ensure that we support Ugandans and enable them to be innovative and be able to make a lot of progress in the area of ICT. We are also engaging with the Ministry of Finance on issues of reducing or eliminating taxes on IT devices so that Ugandans can afford smartphones and smart devices. That way we shall address the penetration of IT services in the population, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, IT or ICT is the way to go. If we are to fight corruption, for instance, in Uganda, we should automate service provision, we should digitalize service provision. So like the procurement, if we completely automate processes and you reduce person-to-person interactions, that way you cut off those avenues of corruption. That's why we seek the support of government. We want the government to put more resources, because we shall make more savings by investing in ICT. And now everything depends and is facilitated by ICT. If you want to improve healthcare, ICT must be integral. If you want to improve agriculture, ICT must be integral. The other day, Your Excellency, as I finalize, we had a debate in Parliament where some members of Parliament were casting doubt on the COVID vaccines, and they were saying, how come scientists took a short time to come up with a COVID vaccine? Are we sure it is safe? Because historically we know scientists take a longer time to come up with vaccines. And I did explain in the Parliament that this vaccine that we use, the process of developing them followed all the processes which we know as scientists. The only difference was technology, ICT. One, when the virus was discovered in China and Wuhan, the Chinese scientists, using technology, extracted what we call the viral genome, the genetic material of the virus, and then shared it digitally in the scientific community. That one cut off many processes where the scientists start. So they began from an advanced level because the Chinese extracted it, shared it using technology, and science accessed it. Secondly, in the analysis of the trials, clinical trials results, they used the supercomputing techniques, which are cutting-edge technologies which are available. And that part explains why it took a shorter period to come up with the COVID vaccine compared to the past, where it would take many years. So technology is facilitating many processes, and as a Minister of ICT and National Guidance, the assurance we want to give Ugandans, the assurance we want to give our young people is that we shall do all it takes to ensure that the digital transformation revolution takes root. In any case, the President is our big advocate, our big ambassador on the issue of ICT. With those remarks, allow me, Your Excellency, to invite Her Excellency, the Vice President of Uganda, Honorable Jessica Arupo, the woman member of Parliament for Katakwi District, to come and greet the people and officially invite you to speak to the young people, the Bazukuru here, but also the rest of the Ugandans who are following this program through television. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, allow me to adopt protocol as pronounced by the Director of Ceremonies, Mr. Maurice Mugisha. Your Excellency, it has been said here that I presided over the launch of the National Digital Roadmap for our country a couple of months ago. Therefore, I would like to thank Your Excellency for the so many endeavors that we have achieved as government in line with the ICT sector. And against that background, Your Excellency, I would like to specifically thank you because you have already directed the Ministry of ICT to conclude the establishment of a national ICT backbone infrastructure together with Huawei. Your Excellency, the national backbone infrastructure, last mile connection, is the lifeline that will propel Uganda into a digital future. And by prioritizing connectivity and investing in this critical infrastructure, we can bridge the gap and the divide, and we can also empower our citizens to thrive in the digital age. Together, Your Excellency, let us build a Uganda where opportunities abound for all. It is now my singular honor and privilege, ladies and gentlemen, to invite His Excellency the President to address us. Your Excellency, the floor is yours now.
Greetings. 1 minute, I come back. Her Excellency the Vice President, the Honorable Ministers, the Permanent Secretaries, and all the people who are here, and those who are watching on media. When you are discussing national issues, it's better you have a holistic approach. Otherwise, you will make mistakes. In the speeches here, you have been talking about some countries. One of the countries you talked about is the Philippines. If you look at the data, you'll find that the Philippines is not as successful as South Korea. Although South Korea is a smaller country, the Philippines is a much bigger country and with more natural resources. So we must find out why some countries succeed and others fail, even when they have a lot of natural resources. There is a country like Burma. Burma is a very rich country in terms of natural resources. Land, water, minerals, ocean around. So you should always be very clear about this and listen very carefully to the NRM message. Because the NRM has talked about all this. So therefore, when you are talking about this ICT, which I call electronics, because you must understand the electronics. They are the one. It's the one behind the ICT. You must put it in a total context. Otherwise, you will just run around and you end up with very little or even negative. So the first question is, you need to maybe ask the question, what are the human needs? And I was trying to think as I was sitting here to list the human needs. Because business, this is all sort of human needs. The first human need is food, emere. You remember some few months ago you were panicking that wheat was not coming and so on. Me, I just laughed. Wheat? Me, I don't eat wheat in the first place. The Syria migati, Syria muzungu, ndiwa wano mumanyi. You know where I come from. I don't eat rice. I have my food, muhogo. And akalo, millet is the richest food in life, richer than all those foods you are talking about. Millet has got carbohydrates, protein, and iron, all in one cereal. You don't have anything comparable. We have got doctors here; they can tell you. So, human need number one is food. You don't eat computers; you eat food. Second, human need, crucial human need, is shelter. Where do you stay? The house. So once you look at food, food is a huge industry. The cereals, the proteins, the fats, the vitamins, the salts, all that is food. Then you come to shelter. Shelter, you are talking about cement, roofing material, tiles, mabati, timber, furniture, etc. That is all to do with shelter. Big. Number 3, clothing, ebyambalo, textiles, shoes, warm clothing, all that is to do with clothing. Number 4, health, ebyobulamu. First of all, the hygiene, the soaps and all that, the disinfectants. Then once you get sick, the diagnostics to diagnose what you're suffering from, the therapeutics, the medicine for treatment, the vaccines. That is now a whole, we now call it pathogenic economy, the economy of diseases. Then security. How do you guard yourself? Are you making weapons that will defend you? The rifles, the tanks, the vehicles, and so on. Then, as society was progressing, mobility, how to move around, became very important, became easier. In the past, we used to walk on foot. Then in some areas they were using horses, but later on some other means of mobility came up and down, using vehicles to move around, aircrafts and so on. So mobility. But all these, that's now number 6. But all these need infrastructure. The roads, the railway, the electricity, utilities, and so on. Then you need knowledge. Schools and training centers. That's number 8. Now, number 9, this is now where you come in, you who are here. You are number 9. This is communication. Communication, to communicate. While I'm producing food, another one is producing building materials, another one is producing clothes. How do we communicate? How do we link up? Communicate. So there you come in now. Because if you can communicate quickly, you help us. Then entertainment, musicians. After we have eaten, after we have clothes, after we have shelter, after we have security, then we can kusanyuka. But without food munange, enyimba, awatali mmere. I have been seeing some of my musicians running up and down, jumping up. Let them go to Mogadishu and have a concert there. I can invite them to Mogadishu. Let them go and have a concert in Mogadishu. Or in some of the other places, or Gaza. They can go to Gaza and have a concert there. So, now, here, this ICT comes in as number 9, in communication, to help communication easily. But also, as Dr. Warimus was saying, when you put these words in our languages, they are better. I think English is the one confusing you. Because, communication. What Dr. Warimus told you is that when they were looking for the vaccine, this time things were faster. Okwanguya. Electronics, what you now call ICT, eyanguya. First of all, etugata, link us, communicate, but also make things faster, because it is electronic acquisition of data, storing it, and utilizing it. I know this from the army, because in the past we had a problem, because you had your rifle, and the rifle was marked 100 meters 200 meters, 300, I think it would go up to 800 or something like on the Nani, or 400, I think it's 400 on the rifle. The meters where you can shoot somebody. And you have to do this in the past. We had to do distance estimation so that you sight your rifle properly. But it was not easy to do it just by the eyes. So they would tell you that if you cannot see somebody's eyes properly, that means he's so much distance. If you can see this, like just like that. Yeah. But now, with optical sights, you can see a person and the computer tells you this fellow is so many meters away, and then you adjust quickly. So, ICT yamwe eyanguya etugata ate eyanguya. It makes things much faster. That one is for sure. There is no doubt. The electronics make the okubara. Even a digital, even a calculator like this one, instead of using the long division method, what we used to use, now you can just, and you quickly get, you divide the denominator into whatever number you want, and you get quickly the answer. So, ICT yanguya. There's no doubt about that. And then storage is also easier. As you heard Dr. Zawede is saying that instead of storing using paper, we are going to use digital to store. Very good. So therefore, what is ICT helping us with? And that's why I support it. I support ICT. I am the one who agreed with the Huawei in China, with their chairman, to come and do the digital backbone. Many years ago when I met him, we agreed. But what I don't want you to make a mistake is now to again get lost, because Africans like to get lost. ICT, ICT, ICT. Have you eaten one computer? If you have eaten one, you tell me. Naye bw'oba tolanye computer, munange, yogera ku byonna, emmere, and all the other things that I've talked about, and the ICT. So therefore, now this ICT of yours can actually be a new problem for Africa. Because Karisa, this one of NBS, was telling me there in that display center that there are 1,000 young people, 1,500 young people who have got, you call it what, software or something. I said they are earning some money from it. I said, bakola ki? Kubanga nze waliwo kitula nkubuuza nti n'okola ki? What are you doing exactly? Ekitugasa, the one which helps us. Now, what I got from him was that these young people, that they have got a followership. Like me, I have got my followers on that rumor mongering center called social media. But for me, I don't use it for rumor mongering, I use it for facts transmission. Now, according to Karisa, I can now use my followers to advertise. And then I am paid. I don't know who is paid. Is it my followers or me? Me, I'm the one who is paid. Oh, Banang. Do I share with the followers or what? Ah, Banang. You get what we could train. But now, the question, that's another issue. But now the question is, whose products are you advertising? Are you advertising Uganda's products? Or are you trying to convert Ugandans into importers? Oksaka. So, this ICT of yours, what is it being used for? Is it being used to promote Oksaka? Or, because the words are two. Oksaka, no kutunda. Okutunda is when you sell yourself. And Oksaka is when you buy from another family. I think to buy from, if you are promoting buying from within Uganda, then that is good, that is positive. I support that. If you are promoting buying okugula from within Uganda, that's good. If you are promoting buying, selling to the outsiders, okutunda, that's good. But if you are promoting Yokusaka, you are sucking blood from us and taking it outside. So therefore, the ICT, there are three words here. The Nyankore version, Okwangusia. Okwangusia means to make things easier, and or okoraftia. You can even call it okoraftia. There is no doubt about that. But the digital is making things faster, quicker, more efficient, more traceable, traceability. That's why I support the idea of digitizing the government processes, because it links us, stores, but also makes traceability easy to trace. But then bear in mind, the big problem of Africa is that when I listed the human needs, which were 10, you remember I said food, basic human needs, food, shelter, and so on, 10 of them. What I forgot to add was, is Uganda dependent in acquiring those needs, or is it independent? Because that's where the big crisis of Africa is now. Other countries are suffering. They don't even have food. You here, when you were crying, I said, no, but you... Now, who has died? And you are now all very fat. I saw you when I was passing here. So, the digital effort we are doing, is it supporting the independence of Uganda or the dependence of Uganda in these basic human needs? And these basic human needs are really what transforms economies Uganda, we are stable because we are a bit independent. In the area of food, we are independent. In the area of some of the shelter items, cement, steel bars, and so on. You can imagine until recently people were importing furniture from Dubai, but I think that one is also changing. Shoes, leather was being imported. Now we are making it here in Kaumu from your cows. So that struggle is going on. The struggle of making sure that Uganda, mobility we have been using Japanese cars all these years. And many years ago, I was talking to the Japanese saying, please, you come and assemble your cars here because we are buying many of them. They were not interested. Now, recently, some of them came and they said they wanted to assemble vehicles here. I said, no, that is finished. I will no longer allow anybody to assemble vehicles here. We shall make them here ourselves. Ebyokuyungira wano ebyo byaggwa omukisa gwabasubwa. We are now going to make the cars ourselves. So therefore, digital innovations are definitely have the potential to improve the quality of life. But Africa has missed these human innovations. The railway was invented. Instead of helping us, it transported colonials here and helped the slave trade. Electricity has been here for more than 100 years. Very few Africans have benefited because of the mistakes of the leaders, of the kings, and then the others who came after. So therefore, please, electronics is a huge step for the human race. But Africa, like all the other scientific innovations, must use it in the right context. To build an economy, NRM point number 5, to build an economy that is independent, integrated, and self-sustaining. That's what we told you from 1986 in the 10 points. If you integrate your ICT with imports, then you are a liability, not an asset to the country. The same with the banks. The banks, the telephone companies like this MTN, the talking people are doing on your phones. What are they talking about? Are they talking to import things, including human hair? Nti omuntu alagiriza enviiri okuva obawa enviiri z'abafu. Is that what you are talking on the phone? If that's what you are talking about, then you are a liability. Huh? What are the telephones used for? To sell or to buy from outside? Kutunda oba kusaka. The banks are giving you loans. Loans for what? For importing or for manufacturing here or for internal distribution. If you give a loan, the bank here gives a loan to a women group to buy maize from Museveni, bring it to Kampala and process it here and sell it, that's good. But if it is to import perfumes, to import wigs, to import wines, then it's not illegal, but it is illegitimate. And that's why Africa has lagged behind. So therefore, it's good you invited me here so that I tell you what I think. Now, for the BPO skills, the BPO skills, the ones I support, are the ones we okutunda. When the people in Canada, they need auditors, they need bookkeepers who are a bit cheaper than their own people, and our people do it online and send them the results. That's very good. That's what I was recommending all along. And when I told the minister, I was involved that time in Asasra, I told him long ago, please do this. They didn't tell me that they had a problem of the cost of the internet. I came to know later. Oh, if that is the case, then we should have worked on it. So, again here, outsourcing. If it is for internal distribution, it's good. To order online, if you want to order my bulls online, good. I welcome you. You can work with my daughter to say, I want a cow, then my daughter answers you. Very good. But now, if you want to use the BPO to Oaxaca, I will see now. But if you can also use the BPO to solve a problem in Canada, I am not greedy. I don't want to take everything myself. Because, of course, Uganda is very rich. We have got everything. We have got the raw materials. Now, if we wake up and we start adding value to all our raw materials, we shall sell a lot of things to the outside world. But we are also buying many things from, I have bought aircraft from Canada, the SGR 900. And I've been buying, I have bought Komatsu equipment for roads from Japan. So if I bought those equipment from them, let them also buy from me milk, medicine, and other things. That's how the world should be. I don't only buy from you, small and big, and you buy nothing from me. That's not what I cannot accept to that. So therefore, ICT, EBO, now the Akatoichi. Kuraichi Museveni alemede Katoichi banange. Is it because Museveni doesn't know about the smartphones? I have heard about them. I have seen them at a distance. But in my work, I need to do more thinking than tinkering with the data and so on and so forth. We in the army, we don't allow a general to drive a car. Because when he's driving, his mind goes from the big issues to the road, the corner, the what. He gets focused on the small and forgets the big. So if I want to know what is happening on the smartphones, I ask my Precious Kamwini, where is she? Come. Precious, what are the rumor mongers saying? Bring your smartphone so that you come and show them. Come here in front. Do you have a smartphone or nanga kangi? So my smartphone is indirect through Precious. Because I am not the one on the front line of knowing here. No. My job is to think seriously about where to go. And the less distraction I have, the better. So can I only get it out when I want to ring somebody, but not to check if I want to check what's happening. Where's your other group? They are not here today. So therefore, it's not that I'm against smartphones, but I don't know, even you as managers, when you are doing your own work, I don't know how you manage. For me, I think as a leader, it is better to have less distractions so that I think, and then I can inquire from the one on duty to know what is happening. That's why I have the Katochi. And if I want to send messages, I use her phone, not my Katochi. My Katochi is simply to contact the one I want to contact directly. So with these few words, what do I do now? What do I do? I launch or what?
Your Excellency, you will officially open the job fair.
I opened the job fair. It's now open.
Your Excellency, we just have two asks. The very first will be, we'll have the anthems very shortly, and then we will have you do two things. There will be 3 photos. We request, Your Excellency, you grant us permission. 3 photos. I'll introduce the parties, and the other will be signing of our board, which will also be presented to you at the same board for signing. Your Excellency, they did introduce your friend and your granddaughter here, Soma Muchala Fauzia. She spoke very fluent Swahili, Chinese, a short while ago, and the Bazukur was surprised that Soma, who is our very own from Busoga, can speak very good Chinese, and she is working with Huawei, our partners, on this job fair. I also wanted, Your Excellency, to mention that the Ministry of Education is represented here by the Minister of State, the Honorable Crisesto Miengo, and they did highlight the different achievements they have undertaken as a ministry through the ICT initiatives with the support of the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. And I request the Honorable Ministers, before you leave, to go through the Ministry of Education tent at the fair. May I request we be upstanding for the anthems, please. Anthems, please, in reverse order. Your Excellency will have the photos on the board that has the National ICT Job Fair. So cameramen, please focus your attention there.
I want to request the Bazukuru to give a round of applause for His Excellency the President for gracing the fair. Our very first photo is the Honorable Ministers. If you could make your way, the Honorable Ministers. And while we have that photo, we can then officially sign the book. So Honorable Ministers only, the Honorable Ministers, Ministers of State and the Ministers. That will be the very first photo. The next photo will only include the executive directors of our partners and our partner organizations. That is the executive director of Huawei, the council chair for BPO, the MD Airtel, the CTO MTN, the country director for JICA. That is the second photo. That will also include Kim Karisa as the CEO of Next Media. The last photo will have the agencies under the Ministry of ICT: UBC, UCC, NITA Uganda, Posta Uganda, and UICT, and of course the GCIC. So the heads of those institutions are the only ones expected to be with that photo. So of course our commissioner will join the agencies under ICT, but the protocol teams, please handle this. The very first photo is the Honorable Ministers, only the Honorable Ministers. That's the very first photo, only the Honorable Ministers. The next photo is for the partners, the BPO, Huawei, Airtel, JICA, and Next Media. And the other photo will be for the agencies. Please note, I also request His Excellency the Ambassador, the Charge d'Affaires, to join the partners for the second photo. So those are the only three photos. The very first photo, the Honorable Ministers. The next photo has our partners, and the third photo, the heads of agencies. I did mention them: UBC, UCC, NITA, Posta, UICT, the Media Center, and the GCIC. I see Marcella is on her way. That's the last photo. And then His Excellency will sign the board, officially gracing the National ICT Job Fair 2023. So that is the protocol for our photos. We want to thank His Excellency the President for joining us for this second National ICT Job Fair. We are using the hashtag ICT Job Fair 23. Please tweet away and share these conversations. The Wi-Fi platforms are now open to you under NITA and Airtel. In about 5 minutes, you will be able to access your Wi-Fi and tweet away all the conversations for today, including the photos. I also recommend that you join everyone who will be visiting the exhibition areas. Please request for the programs. Our last photo, the last photo is with the agencies, the heads of agencies: UBC, UCC, NITA Uganda, Posta Uganda, Watasa, who is also our commissioner in the ministry, should join that photo. The GCIC, Commissioner Watasa for National Guidance, there you go. All the heads of agencies: UBC, UCC, NITA, Posta, UICT. That's our very, very final photograph. We are humbly requesting that all our guests will make way to the photo booth area. Please note that the booths will be open to the public, and we now invite the general public who are watching to come and partake of the ICT Job Fair. Your Excellency, that's the card for this year's National ICT Job Fair 2023 under the theme Navigating the Digital Horizon. Your Excellency, this is to formally officially open the fair, and your signature on the board will indicate the formal ceremonies that have happened here with your presence. You, Your Excellency, gracing this National ICT Job Fair, and your message to our young people to harness their opportunities in the ICT sector. Can we give His Excellency the President another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? We thank you, Your Excellency, for your time this afternoon, for gracing this ICT Job Fair.
We thank Her Excellency the Vice President, who came along with her husband. We also want to thank the Honorable Ministers of ICT, the Minister of Gender, the Minister of Public Service, the Minister of State for Education, the Minister of State for ICT, for gracing this ICT job fair. Your Excellency, we thank you, and we indeed are grateful that you were part of this second National ICT job fair. The Honourable Ministers will now make their way to the Ministry of Education booth, where the Honourable Minister of State, the Honourable Miingo, will officially receive you at the Ministry of Education tent. So we want to appreciate you and thank you very much for joining us this morning. Soma, you have some announcements. What happens from here? Now we have the Wi-Fi that has been opened. So what happens, Soma? You had some announcements for us.